Hi guys. So this is a question that's been sent in on 11 plus non-verbal verbal reasoning, cracking the code. How do we solve a question like this? So typically this question, it gives you a couple of letters, right? So it will give you letters here. For example, FG is to EF. So it's telling you there is a relationship between FG and the letter EF. All right, and your job is to determine what is that relationship. So in this example, it says FG is to EF, as LM is to, and you need to work this part out. So what you need to do is you simply start with this. You start with the F. So each letter, so the first letter here, so the first letter in the first couple, you need to match with the first letter in the second couple. So saying F goes to E. So we just need to count how much of a difference there is between F and E. Here it's clearly -1. So we know that the first letter moves by -1. Then for the second letter, we need to match with the second letter of the first couple. We need to match with the second letter of the second couple. So that's G going to F. That also moves back by 1. So we know that we just need to move back each of the letters once back. So if we look here at our test subject, LM, so we just need to move L back by 1. So that will give us our first letter, which you can see here in the example, which is K. And M being moved back by 1 letter will give you L. So pretty straightforward, and you can see here they've given a little explanation saying -1 back for both of the terms. All right, so that was the example. Okay, so that was the example that they had given us. Right, so the top tip with these type of cracking the code questions, right? So cracking the code, the top tip that I can give you is ensure that you have an alphabet line written down, right? So you have all of the alphabets written down. Sometimes they will give you this, sometimes they won't. Okay, if they don't give you this in the exam situation, all you have to do is write out your own alphabet line. Okay, so this will allow you to visualize the letters and the spaces that they are being moved. So usually it's quite a simple case. We just simply count up the letters moving back and forwards, and we can get to our answer. However, this first one is a peculiar case. So we won't do this first, all right? We won't do this first. We will do number 12 first, and then we will come back to, once we've done 12, 13, and 14, we will come back to number 11. So let's have a look at number 12. So it says M goes to E. So here we have M, which is going to E. So let's count how much is M moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So it's -8 here, right? So we've got -8 happening in the first one, okay? And in the second one, which is going from O to R, let's see how much that is. So you might want to, in an exam situation, you might want to use a pencil because you're probably going to be using the same alphabet line for various questions. Okay, so O goes to R. So that's 1 forward, 2 forward, 3 forward. So that's 3 plus. So that's +3. So now all we have to do is the same thing with the test letters. Okay, so we've got U going to, we don't know. Well, we need to just -8 from that because that's what we had in our example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this will give us M. Okay, so the first letter will be M. Okay, and then the second letter is F. So F needs to be moved forwards 3 spaces. That's 1, that's 2, and that is 3. So that gives you MI. And that's it. That's simple as that. So it's really just adding and subtracting on an alphabet line. So these questions can look very daunting when you first look at them, but actually they're pretty straightforward. You're literally just counting letters backwards and forwards. Okay, so that was number 12. Let's have a look at number 13 now. All right, so number 13, DW goes to JA. So that's a D going to J. So let's work out what's happening here. So we have D going to J. So that's 1 forward, 2 forward, 3 forward, 4 forward, 5 forward, and 6 forward. So that's +6. That's +6 on the first term. Then the next letter that we have is a W matching the A. So how does that work? That's 1 forward, 2 forward, 3 forward, and if we imagine this alphabet line wraps itself around, so that was 1, 2, 3. This would be 4 forwards. Okay, so plus 4, right? So we've got plus 4 forward. Okay, so if you start with V, the letter V, so I'm just going to rub this out because I've now written down the rule. So if we start with the letter V, the first letter, remember we need to move forwards 6 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the first letter will be B. The second letter is F, and we need to move that forward 4 steps. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and that is 4. Okay, your answer would be BJ. All right, excellent. So again, quite simply, we are working out the rule between the first set, so the first set that they have given us, and the second set. And then we are applying that same rule to the test letters that they give us. So they should match with the same rules with our answer. Okay, so let's have a final go here at number 14. Okay, so number 14 says R goes to T. So this is R, and it moves forward 1, 2 steps. Pretty easy. Okay, 2 steps forward. And A goes to V. So A goes to V. We can move this forwards, or we can go backwards. Okay, if we go backwards here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 back here. So we move back by 5. So H, on the other hand, here as our test subject, will now need to be moved 2 forwards. Okay, so H will be moved forward twice. That gives you plus 2, right, to give you J. And then if we move forwards the letter X, sorry, move it back 5 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that should give you JS. Okay, so your answer should be JS. All right, so now that gives us our final answer for number 14. All right, so these were your usual cases. Sometimes they like to play a little trick and just want to see if you are switched on and you're not simply doing addition and takeaway. So here we have a look at this, right? So we notice that the first letter, so this is number 11, right? So we said we're going to come back to this. So we notice that this is S, okay? So the first letter is S and it's going to H, okay? So we notice that this is moving to H, and that's fine, okay? And then we notice that the second letter, so if I do that in a different color, okay, so if I do that in a different color, that is D, so let's do that in green, and that is going to W. So D goes to W, yeah, we notice that D goes to W and S goes to H. What you notice is instead of adding, you can sometimes spot that this is a mirror. Okay, this is a mirror. So if you imagine, so if you recall that there are 26 letters in the alphabet, okay, so that means we can split this in half. We can have 13 on either side and make this what we call symmetrical. Okay, so you need to understand symmetry from maths to be able to answer this question. Okay, so what we notice is that if we count 3 from the left hand side, well, the fourth letter is one of the letters that is circled. If we count 4 from here, we also notice that this is one of the letters that is circled. If we count 5, 6, 7, and 8, the 8th letter is the S letter, and if you count from here, the 8th letter is the H letter. Okay, so we notice that it's got a symmetrical, it has a symmetrical pattern. Okay, so symmetrical, or it is almost a mirror reflection of each other. So all we have to do now is do the same thing with G and Y. So we get G, we've got Y. Okay, all we have to do is get a mirror reflection. So the reflection of Y would be B. And the reflection of G, let's just count G, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 from the left in, so we need to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it should be 6 from the right in. Okay, right? So we should have 6 from the right in for G. So G was the first letter, so the reflection of G needs to be written first, which was T, and the reflection of Y, which is the second letter, needs to be written second. So your answer here would be TB. Okay, so this is what we call a mirror code. Okay, so hopefully that helps you guys along with the cracking the code question. If you have any further questions, please let me know in the comments, and I will do a video on that question. Thank you. Bye.